And this video, someone gets DNA tested behind their back, someone announces a pregnancy to steal the spotlight at a wedding, and one guy saves a coworker's life and gets accused of assault for it. Stick around, because by the end you're going to have some strong opinions.
We're getting married in less than 2 months. Our RSVP deadline was a month ago, and everyone responded, except one couple. We had to chase them down just to get any kind of answer. Yesterday, they finally messaged us. They were free to come. But alongside their reply, they sent a long message about how cumbersome and expensive it was to attend our wedding, how tiring the weekend would be, and how they'd probably retreat to their hotel room for most of it and only stay for the ceremony and part of dinner before disappearing. We were completely taken aback. Because we are paying for everything: food, drinks, parking, and everyone's accommodation at a beautiful lakeside hotel. Their biggest expense would be gas for a 4-hour drive. They also complained about the black tie dress code, despite already owning clothes that fit it perfectly, so we replied and told them, if coming is that tiresome, it's probably better they don't. No hard feelings. We completely understand if someone can't make it. But we basically uninvited them. They are now furious and refusing to speak to us. Each guest costs us around $600, so we'd be spending $200 on people who don't even want to be there. Were we the assholes?
Am I the asshole for getting my coworker arrested for stealing my chair? I just started a new sales job. The chair in my cubicle was so uncomfortable that on day 3, I brought in my own Herman Miller Aeron chair. It cost me $1,800 on the 4th. Day I came in and it was gone. I looked around and another sales rep was sitting in it. I asked for it back and he basically told me to get lost. I went and spoke to the owner. He told me the chairs are first come, first serve. I explained that I personally own this chair and it cost me $1,800. He told me to come in earlier if I want it. The next day, same guy, my chair. I told him to give it back or I was calling the cops. He refused, so I called the cops. It was quite a scene, but I came prepared. I had the receipt with the serial number. Yes, Aeron, chairs have serial numbers. The cops asked if I wanted to press charges. My boss pulled me aside and told me I'd be fired if I had him arrested. I said, absolutely, press charges. Got fired on the spot. I carried my chair out with me as I was leaving. The guy who took my chair has been in the industry for 15 years. Because he admitted to the theft, the cops arrested him. He's also going to lose his security license, which means he can't work in the industry anymore. I don't feel bad. He shouldn't have stolen my chair. Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for laughing in my sister-in-law's face when she DNA tested my daughter? I, 30M, have a daughter who's 6. I am not biologically related to her at all. There is no blood relation between us. I was friends with her mother for all of my childhood. We were never involved romantically, and were always just friends. She had her daughter at 23 with her 25-year-old husband. When my daughter was a newborn, about 3 months technically, both her mother and father were killed. I won't go into too much detail for privacy reasons, but it was workplace shooting. My friend and her husband had worked in the same building, and were both killed. Both my friend and her husband had grown up with less than ideal families and didn't have any siblings, so there wasn't any next of kin for their daughter to go to. However, because I was close with them, I was able to adopt her. Even though I had been iffy about the idea of kids, I didn't want their daughter to grow up in foster care or around people who didn't have a connection to her bio parents, so I stepped in. My parents and siblings know that my daughter is not my actual daughter, biologically speaking. My daughter, I'll call Lily for the post, also knows that she's adopted. I never really hid the fact that she was adopted. She knows her parents are dead and were killed by a bad man, but I'm saving the details for when she's older. Lily does not look like me at all. She looks exactly like her mother and biological dad. Most people assume that I'm her bio dad and that she just took after her mom. I don't ever really correct this when and if people assume this because it just seems unnecessary. My brother has been with his fiancée for about 2 years now. A few weeks ago, we were all meeting up at my parents' house and my sister-in-law saw an old picture of me, my friend, and her husband. She pointed to my friend and asked who she was, and I explained that was Lily's mother. Sister-in-law got quiet and stood in front of the picture for a while. I didn't think much of it. To clarify, she knows my friend died, but I guess didn't know that she had been married or that Lily is not my bio daughter. I suppose she assumed my daughter was mine and my friend's biological daughter. My sister-in-law got a DNA test done on my daughter behind my back. My sister-in-law didn't know Lily was adopted, and after seeing an old photo of us, she got suspicious. She secretly DNA tested my daughter behind my back. She used my brother's DNA for the test, and when it came back that they weren't related, she knew that meant me and Lily weren't related. She came up to me with the results and waved them in my face, saying that I was taking care of a dead woman's affair baby. She said this to me in front of my daughter. I just stared at her for a while before bursting out laughing at this. I told her I knew Lily wasn't my biological daughter, and that this thing called adoption exists. Her face went red and she stormed off. My brother is mad I embarrassed his fiancée, but I said she embarrassed herself by DNA testing a kid that isn't hers and then parading the results up to me. What did she want me to do? What was her goal with this? Did she want me to break down and abandon my daughter? My brother said she thought she was doing the right thing and called me an asshole. I don't feel like the asshole, especially considering my sister-in-law was the one who stuck her nose where it doesn't belong. So was I the asshole for laughing at her?
Am I the asshole for announcing our pregnancy at my brother's wedding after he proposed at mine? My brother said he was going to propose at my wedding. I told him no, that it was a day about myself and my wife and we did not want any distractions. My mom lost her shit. She said that he wanted family he might not see again for a while to be a part of the proposal. I said I did not give a shit and that if he did it, I would have him kicked out. He did it. And my mom said if I tried kicking him out, she would leave too. I just remember seething inside. My brother got married last weekend. Instead of a welcome to the family toast, I used the time to announce that we were expecting our first baby. My mom was upset, but my grandmother told her to sit down and shut up. We spent most of the reception talking to family we would not see again for a while about our coming baby. My mom says I was an asshole for taking attention away from my brother on his wedding day. She got really mad when I reminded her that she threatened to leave my wedding if I kicked him out after he proposed. I have the screen cap of the text messages. Do you think I'm the asshole?
Am I the asshole for treating my coworker differently after she accused me of SA when I saved her life? I'm a quiet guy and genuinely friendly. I treat all my coworkers as friends. About 2 months ago, during a work lunch, one of my coworkers started choking, so I did the Heimlich thing to help her. After she's in the clear, the others cheered. I asked if she, all right, she just nodded and headed to the bathroom without a word, so I didn't think much about that until 2 days later, I got called into HR for my inappropriate behavior. I was confused and asked for more details. That's when they told me that my coworker had filed a complaint stating that she felt my touch when I was helping her was inappropriate, my body was too close, and she felt my privates touching her. I gave my statement and they put me on ice. I was still working with potential to be removed while they investigate further. After a week, I was in the clear. I returned to working normally without fear, but I started distancing myself from the coworker. She tried to apologize, which I accepted, and tried to explain that she has to tell me that she has trauma, but I still take precautions and only treat her as just a colleague. I no longer talk to her unless needed to, always keeping distance, no longer inviting her out unless there's others. She could feel my hesitance toward her and how I no longer treat her the same as others. She tried to say that I'm being ridiculous and petty, but I told her that I'm just looking after myself. So, am I the asshole?
If you want to argue about who was actually the asshole, drop your verdict in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more of these, hit subscribe, because I've got a new batch of stories every week.